Welcome to Silence Screams Loud Strength. I am your host, Samantha. In this episode, we are talking about when love lives here. So the theme of this episode is returning to love after conflict, reclaiming peace, integrity, and emotional integrity, emotional maturity. So, when love lives here, there is this one tender moment. It's for the moments when anger has spoken louder than compassion, when conflict has taken the place of connection, and when love feels buried beneath pain, proud, or understanding. Sometimes healing isn't about walking away. It's about learning how to stay without losing yourself. It's remembering that love, the real love, that still lives here, even when it doesn't feel quite like it. When it hurts and the heart feels hardened. You know that moment when your body tenses before your mind catches up, when your tone sharpens, your silence becomes your shield. That's the moment when love starts to hide behind the fear. That's conflict. Conflict can make us forget the humanity in each one of us or in each other. When we start protecting ourselves from the very people who once felt like home, you have learned that when your nervous system is activated, love feels unsafe. It's not that you have stopped caring, it's that your body doesn't even know what safety feels like anymore. So work begins here. Not for proving who's right, not for forcing someone to understand our pain, but in claiming your body is enough to remember that love still lives within us. You can't heal when you are fighting. You can't love what you are trying to control. Sometimes the most spiritual thing you can do is to take a breath before you react and pause and let God back into the space. Emotions are not idols. We live in a world that tells us, speak our truth, and yes, truth is sacred. But so is silence. So is restraint. So is the moment when you choose peace over right. When you make your emotions, or when you make the emotions your idols, we start to value what we feel more than what the people that love us. We begin worshiping our pain, feeding it, defending it, instead of asking, what can I teach myself from this experience? And how can I lose these idols? Love asks us to soften, not because we are weak, but because a soft heart strengthens us and not harden the ego within us. So before you respond and before we match someone's tone, before we give a cold shoulder to someone, ask yourself, can I see the God in them right now? Can I remember the love that once made me want to be in this person's space? This doesn't mean ignoring the pain or enabling harm. It means choosing consciousness over chaos. Because the truth is, when you are healed, you respond differently. When you protect peace, not pride, you feel and you start to see differently. Responding without losing your soul. So there will be days when silence feels holy, and others when your boundaries must speak. But both exist with grace. It's okay to redirect disrespect. It's okay to say, I'm not available for this type of energy. You can maintain your spiritual integrity and refuse to be walked all over. In my own journey, I've learned that how we respond defines our peace and our healing process. Not every action deserves a reaction, but some things do require redirection. The kind that says, I love you, but I will not shrink to make this connection survive. You can be both gentle and firm. You can stand in your truth without losing your tenderness. So the next time someone tests your patience, your peace, remember, you don't need to shout to be heard. You don't need to fight to prove your worth. You can simply be calm, and others are not yet capable of holding the same sort of peace that you hold. That's what spiritual maturity looks like. The practice of patience for loving better. Healing is a process, and it's a journey, and it's a discipline, and it's a practice that you consciously tap into. So loving better is a discipline. It's not something that just happens. It's something you choose over and over again. Sometimes it looks like walking away for hours to breathe. Sometimes it's sending a prayer instead of a text. Sometimes it's remembering that the goal is not to win, but to realign with your conscious, intentional self. So when emotions are high, when communication breaks down, practice doing one thing that says, love still lives here. I love you, but I'll love you from a distance. Maybe that's washing the dishes instead of arguing. Maybe that's just taking a walk, or maybe that's just lighting a candle for a prayer, for clarity. Maybe that's just a whisper, God, help to see this person through your eyes. Help me to see them. And help me to extend grace. But help me to keep my boundary and my peace and my energy sacred. When you do that, you open the door for grace to enter the room again. And where grace lives, healing follows. We are all learning how to love better. It's a process, especially after deep scars. We are all students in God's classroom of compassion, but it's returning to class and choosing to return to class with compassion for compassion and doing the assignment. Reflecting, journaling, standing in stillness, sitting in stillness. So I'll end this episode with a reflection as a journal prompt, maybe for yourself to practice for a soft heart. You can ask yourself, what does love still lives here mean right now for me? Where have I allowed anger or pride to lead instead of love? What would peace look like if I stopped needing to understand and start choosing understanding? How can I respond differently next time? From a soft and a softened voice, not dense and angry. So, here is a little affirmation for this week that you can do for yourself. I am learning to respond with love, even when my pain wants to speak first. I am anchored in peace, even when others are not. I choose alignment over argument, compassion over control. And you can repeat this over and over again. Sometimes it's nice to say these affirmations looking in the mirror. Sometimes they are best last thing at night, so you can learn to reprogram your mind. Because when you finish your day with an affirmation that is so nourishing to the soul and the mind, the body starts to heal, and tomorrow is a better day. So in closing today, don't let the pain and anger linger. Don't rush to fix what's broken. Just sit with awareness that love still lives here. You don't need to chase peace. You are peace. Just remember, you are loved. And thank you for listening to this episode. I am Samantha. Until next time, I appreciate you. Love lives here.